of guests and do not reflect the views and opinions of the show staff, the sponsors, guests past or present, or the management of Furry Frequencies. This show discusses adult topics and uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised. This show is intended for an 18-plus audience. Hello and welcome to Furry Frequencies, a soundtrack to your furry life. I'm Lifty, and joining me on the podcast this evening is Silox.
Hey, how's it going?
And our producer, somebody who is totally not Kim Klasick, but nevertheless, our producer.
Wow.
What?
You know you're wrong for that.
What do you mean wrong?
You know what you did.
What did I do? What did I do?
Nothing. You know what you did. You know exactly what you did.
What did I do?
You brought he who shall not be named up.
Whomst?
Kimberly.
Kimberly is great. Kimberly is a wonderful producer, and we love having Kimberly as our producer. They're a wonderful part of the Furry Frequencies family. And we are glad that they are here. So, we are sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, but we are running up to speed right now. Thank you for joining us. We've got a great episode. We've got a few things to talk about. Most particularly, there's a new convention happening, and we're ready to talk about that. We're going to be talking about a bunch of other things later on in the podcast. But first, I guess I want to open it up to our sponsor for this evening. This episode of Furry Frequencies is brought to you by Dramatel.
Dramatel.
Does all of this seem familiar? Hi, I'm Jessie with the Dramatel Network. At Dramatel, we know relationships. We also know that if someone's avoiding your call, there's probably a pretty good reason for it. Dramatel, the almost illegal phone card, is a state-of-the-art calling card service that allows you to choose what comes up on any caller ID display. Using our technology, dodging your call is out of the question. Imagine what you can do with the power of Dramatel. Catch a cheater, be a cheater, defeat caller ID, call block, and call return. With Dramatel, you'll have the tools to find out who's not telling you the truth.
I couldn't get a hold of my boyfriend, so I called him with his sister's number. Trust me, Dramatel works.
That's right. Dramatel will actually display the number you choose on any caller ID and on the bill of the person you call. That way, you remain totally anonymous. With Dramatel, you can even change your voice to a man or a woman in real time and record the call. With Dramatel, there is no escape.
Yo, what up, T-Money?
What up, boy?
Who you with? Yeah, man, I'm with my girl, Chrissy. What's your name again? Oh, yeah?
This ain't T. You've been Dramatel, player.
Dramatel. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Win the game with Dramatel. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-721-9219. Order now for just $24.99 plus shipping and handling. Dramatel is not sold in stores. Order now for just $24.99. Call 1-800-721-9219. Dramatel, the almost illegal phone card. Isn't it time you start eliminating the drama in your life?
Dramatel. It's amazing that a product like that existed at some point in time. Like, I actually remember seeing this thing and, seeing it on store shelves. And I don't know if it ever worked. I don't know how it worked. I don't know how it ever worked. But, I mean, it was oh my goodness. The early to mid 2000s was just a hell of a time because something like that existed, Dramatel. I feel like if that was still around today, that furries would be like all over it.
Oh, they would. They would eat that shit up so much. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, before we get started, we would just like to remind you that we do have a great episode for you, and you can call in. And how do you call in? You want to know?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to call in is, of course, to follow us on Twitter at Furry Frequencies. And, of course, you're seeing right now our great and wonderful Twitter feed. And if you scroll down just a little bit, right here at the very top of our Twitter feed, pinned to the very top is a tweet that has our Discord link on it. Just go ahead and click this link. This will warp you straight to our Discord channel if you have Discord. If you don't, go ahead and download it. Otherwise, this will work a lot easier with it. This can also work via your browser if you don't want to install another plugin or another program. You can definitely do this browser-wise. So anyway, you click that, it warps you to our important README page. Please be sure to read the important README because there's a lot of important stuff to read there. And then once you've read through all that, go ahead and join our waiting room. And while you're listening to us on Twitch, you can also call in according to the guidelines posted in the important README. And once we receive your call, you'll be in. Moderators are standing by to take your call, so if you want to call in and talk about what we're talking about, feel free to talk and call in via Discord. We love to have you on the show, and we'd love to talk to you. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is, of course, we want to pay our respects.
Yes, we do.
Yes, because we have lost a great and wonderful part of the furry community this past week, and we would like to just pay our respects to Yiff Party. Yiff Party, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to say our final condolences to Yiff Party. That has died this weekend at the ripe old age of 5. So this is what has been posted in the forum for Yiff Party. I don't know exactly which forum this is, but it was posted in a forum specifically for Yiff Party. And anyway, it's from the admin for Yiff Party that says, after over 5 years of service, I'm shutting down Yiff Party. Apparently, just reading through here, there's been the biggest reason why the person is shutting down Yiff Party is because they're just not interested in running Yiff Party anymore. And so you're wondering right now, what is Yiff Party? Because, if you try to type it into your URL, you're going to get, it's going to get an error message, or you're going to get like a connection error or something. But basically, Yiff Party was some kind of a hush-hush website that would actually post what Patreon artists were posting on their Patreon. They would actually port it to Yiff Party, and you can view it for free on Yiff Party. And it was just, to me, it was amazing that this website has actually existed for 5 years. I was thinking that Patreon would go after them hard and fast to shut that shit down when they would be getting word of what the hell is going on Yiff Party. What the hell is Yiff Party? So yeah, Yiff Party was basically just a backdoor to view pictures, images, video, whatever, from Patreon for free. Now, they did have links where you could support the artist that you're viewing for as low as $1. They also, from time to time, also ask for donations to keep the site running. But, of course, donations from this, the donations weren't really the concern. The concern is just the time and energy to run this website. And the same I'm feeling the same deja vu for like the E621 crawler that was on Telegram. The person who ran that, who had the source code for that, decided to shut it down abruptly and said, no, I'm not selling the source code. I'm not going to just pass it on to somebody else. I'm just going to just let it die and move on with my life. The same, just this, it's the same kind of, it's the same mentality here going on.
It really is.
They're not passing it on to anybody else. They're not selling the site. They're not selling the source code. They're not giving the source code away. It's just gonna die. So yeah, press an F in the chat for Yift Party, because now the biggest illegal source of free Patreon porn is now gone. Satellite, you wanted to say something about that?
I mean, I'm kind of conflicted because I understand that it had a role, and it also at the same time took potential income away from a lot of artists and those who use Patreon. And I think it really brings into question the efficacy of Patreon to begin with in the community. I mean, it's clear that a lot of people would support these artists given the traffic that was directed through Yift Party. However, the problem was the potential revenue, the revenue that was lost, the potential revenue that could have been generated through these people had they gone through the proper channels. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars right there. So I think that it has a very conflicted history and a very conflicted legacy, and I'm sure someone else will try to do the same thing. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
One thing that people don't,
but I think,
it's having to pay for.
Well, yeah, and that's where, I think we mentioned this on a podcast prior, but I know that furries definitely don't like to pay for viewing porn. Like they're kind of, Patreon has made it very, very lucrative for artists to pursue their craft, which is great. But I also know of viewers, and I know of consumers of furry porn that really just want everything for free. They really do, and this is why Yift Party existed in the first place, because they just wanted to stick it to Patreon. They really did. They didn't want to pay just to view and consume porn in the same way that everybody consumes porn. They just wanted to consume it like any other person, any other pervert. Not saying that they were right. I'm just stating an observation over here. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, I know for those who knew about it, they're probably gonna miss Yift Party. But for everybody else, it's gonna be like good riddance to bad rubbish or whatever, and they're still gonna go back and just make everybody consume porn by paying for it for every little fap. But anyway, just taking care of that little bit of business. But on another topic, yeah, we moved on really quick on that. So on another topic, so last week we brought to you, or talked to you about a new convention starting in Lancaster called Amish Country FurCon, and by the grace of God, their website is still up.
It's still up.
It's still up, and nothing works, and it's everything. You can click on everything, and yeah, and it's still up and everything, and by the grace of God, that is still up. Well, last week, of course, we kind of blew the lid on Amish Country Fur Con and what exactly it was. And lo and behold, we thought that this was another Nitro production, and we were right. It was a Nitro production. But check this out, because, just keep into your head just how this website looks. Just keep it in your mind. Because it still works. Every stupid little thing still works. Except for the things that don't. Yeah. And it just looks like this. So, shortly after that, we got word of another convention that's starting up, this time in Houston. So, no Nitro fuckery would actually go from Pennsylvania to Houston to start a big scam over in Houston. And this is actually showing some promise. So here it is. Statosfur, a con in Houston for all fur kind. And they already have dates. They already have a venue set up. It's impressive. August 14th through the 15th, 2021 at the Hyatt Regency DFW Airport. Or no, excuse me, Hyatt Regency Houston Intercontinental Airport. DFW's in Dallas, I'm sorry. Getting my airports mixed up.
Way to go.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any fact checkers behind me, unfortunately. I'm not we're not CNN over here where we got like 30 different fact checkers on speed dial.
Fact checking Lifty at the moment to make sure he has the correct spelling. The correct airport.
Shut up! I don't need to be fact checked.
I mean, you kind of do.
I am the fact check.
Yikes! That's as bad as someone saying they won something after it was shown they didn't win something.
Shut up, Psylocke. I am the fact checker. But anyway, moving on. I'm actually quite impressed with what I'm seeing so far. It has official dates. It has a venue. It has a really spiffy logo, Statosfur. I like that name, and I like that logo too. So this is a new convention starting up in Houston, and already a few new things have popped up about it. Essentially, that they are looking to donate. They're looking for donations. They're looking for staffers. If you're interested, it's interesting to me that they're looking for donations right here on their website. Nitro. It's amazing that this is the exact same. That this whole website, the exact same theme, exact same host. It's on WordPress. It's on the highlight theme as this. Same exact. Look at that. Same exact theme. Same exact type of website as this, and it's just amazing what you can do when you don't have a incompetent fuckwit like Nitro doing anything at all with your convention. Look at it. This is so much more spiffy and polished.
It really is.
And they're not stealing any photos. Look at that. They can use photos from their own meets. They have meets. It's amazing. They even have a Telegram chat. Amazing. They even have a Twitter account. Let me just click on that. They have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, Discord. Oh my goodness. And so this is what I've actually just picked up my interest as well is Statosfur is actually letting people elect their first con chair, and
Boy, that
the
I
first
don't
con
like.
chair is, well, go ahead.
I,
I've got some opinions about this, but yeah, go ahead.
I think that when you're electing a con chair, what you're doing is you are making it a popularity con, especially for your first time around.
Well, see, for conventions, doing it the first time is kind of a big risk because you don't know how well they will do as a leader, and that that can make or break the convention. So I don't know who Knighted is, but yeah, look at him. He's this fuzzball. This is the new con chair for Statosfur, and he's there he is. The Knighted. Knighted is a 34-year-old Latino molecular technologist from Henderson, Nevada, born and raised in Houston, and that's the new elected con chair of Statosfur. You said that you don't like the system. I'm saying that for subsequent years, like after the first year, that's pretty much how it's done. It's just usually not open to the general public to elect a con chair. It's usually like among staff that vote, and it's usually a certification process for the finalists between the board of directors. The board of directors kind of weed out who gets voted or who advances to be like the finalists for the vote. Here they're kind of saying, nah, fuck all that. We're gonna let the people who are going to this convention decide. And I don't really know this dude, but I wish him the best. I wish Statosfur the best. I'm not gonna shit on Statosfur because I really feel like they've got something going here. And then if you look at their blog here, they've got a news blog here, and so this is their first blog post. What's amazing about this is that it's not just like one or two people that are trying to build up an entire furry convention on their own. It's actually a group of people got together and they said, hey, let's see about maybe getting a convention in Houston, because you already have ACFI, which I think is in San Antonio, and you have TFF, which is in Dallas. But Houston is this huge metro area that is not represented by the furry community, convention-wise.
I mean, I get that. You also have to remember, this is the second time that they've been trying to get a convention in Houston. Prior to this, there was another attempt. I forgot the proposed convention name, but this is the second attempt that they've tried to get a convention out in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, does Texas really need this many cons? You also have Alamo City Furry Invasion, of course, Texas Furry Fiesta, and there might be other furry conventions that are smaller that I'm forgetting. I was about to say TTF, but that's in Tulsa.
That's in Tulsa, yeah.
But, does Texas really need another furry convention?
And I would say yes. Because, again, Texas is a very, very, very large state. And having one in Dallas and having one in San Antonio means that any furry that's living in Houston, they're going to have to go a ways. They may have to drive a long way, or they may have to fly to these conventions. It's just, it's nice to have a hometown convention to go to. Just like we have Furthermore, in Arlington, it's nice to have something nearby that we can all congregate to, and we can all bring our friends to, and invite people from other parts of the country, other parts of the state, to join in on the fun. It's very nice, and Houston is a wonderful location. Now, the issue that I have with Houston, though, is that airfares to Houston Intercontinental are always ridiculously high. I don't ever understand it. I don't get it. But I know to fly from DC metro area to Houston, it costs roughly about $300, $350 on a non-peak day.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And summer, forget it. You're not getting a flight for less than $400, unless you're sucking some dick on the pilot or something. You're just not. I'm just saying. You're not getting a good fare. I don't know what it is about Houston, but their fares are always ridiculous. And
well, I mean, that's because you're flying into fucking Intercontinental. You could just fly into Hobby on Southwest.
Same thing though. It's Houston. It's not. It has nothing. It's the weirdest thing, but it has nothing to do with the airport. It's the same thing whether you fly into Hobby or you fly into Houston Intercontinental. I just don't get it. And you know what I'm blaming? I'm blaming United. Because I'm pretty sure that if they didn't buy out Continental, you'd have good fares. You would have good fares. I don't know what it is about the United Continental merger, but it has screwed up so many things with fares when they merged.
They were first called United Continental. That's how old. I remember that shit.
I remember their old logo. Do you remember their old logo? Do you remember United's old logo, the tulip?
Yeah.
The Saul Bass tulip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when they first flew into Duluth. That was years ago. And I was excited because, we have competition. And back then, it was just a Northwest, and that's it. And then they merged into Delta. That's the weird thing, is that back when Northwest and Delta merged, fares dropped. All over. Fares dropped. But then United and Continental do the same exact thing, and fares go up. What? How? What the fuck?
I mean, yeah. I mean, what, you thought competition would, you thought mergers would somehow, make the price cheaper? No.
Yes.
You're limiting competition.
Yes. No, because there's more flights. So there's
but
they're having an overabundance in the market.
Yes, but again, you're limiting competition. So the airlines know this. They know that if there's only 2 airlines at the airport, they can charge however much money they want to, because they know this is the only airport probably
that's why you don't fly into Duluth. You fly into MSP and then you take a shuttle up to Duluth.
Well, not everybody knows that though. That's the thing. Not everybody's like us.
Well, if you live in Duluth, you know this. That's why that airport, while it's shiny and new and has that new airport smell,
lovely.
I really see it as an airport for old people, because they're the people that don't want to get on a 15 passenger Econoline and just scrunch in like a sardine for 2.5 hours to drive from MSP all the way up to Duluth.
And can you blame them?
No, I don't blame them. No. I mean, but then again, I'm not old. I'm not an old person. But anyway, back to Statosfur. I really, seeing what is going on behind the scenes with Statosfur is actually, with the whole election of their con-chair notwithstanding, I think that this has a lot of chance for success. They just need to get their name out there. I think a lot of first-time cons, they just kind of hinge on name recognition, and they've got to start small. Otherwise, they're going to burn themselves out. And this, I think, has a lot of potential, especially in Houston. And like I said, Texas has a lot of potential for having 3 conventions in it, where many other states probably don't, but Texas definitely does. And that's because you have Houston, which isn't really represented by a convention of any kind, and you have ACFI down in San Antonio, and you have TFF up in Dallas. Actually, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So, just for a minute, just to capture just how long. Let me see. I'm gonna just Google that. Distance from Houston to Dallas, Texas. I mean, look at that. 200, roughly 3.5 hours to drive from Houston to Dallas. That's quite a long drive.
That is.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite a while. And then, let's see, how about San Antonio? And that's, roughly 200 miles. 3 hours and 8 minutes. I mean, I don't know I know of some really crazy furries that just like they drive to all kinds of conventions. I know some furries that have driven from DC up to Chicago for Midwest Fur Fest.
Oh,
Furries, let's talk. So when airfares are like around $100 round trip to go from DC to Chicago, don't drive your ass up to Chicago. Take a fucking plane like a normal person, please. The opportunity is there for you. And guess what? On a plane, you can fall asleep. You can eat. You can, read a book. You can do whatever you want. You've got a bathroom in the back.
You can join the Mile High Club, whatever that means. There are lots of shut up. There are a lot of options for you to do on a plane. Like, there's no need for you to drive up there. Plus, if you're a fursuiter, boy, no, that's actually a disservice. The point is, actually, no, no. Actually, no, no, that's also a disservice. The point is, unless you live very close, don't drive to a convention. All right.
Yeah,
like that would be taking a flight. No, that's also damn it. Okay, that would be like me driving from Maryland all the way to Reno for Biggest Little Fur Con. Why would anyone do that? Just to save some money? Like, no. You get your ass in a plane, fly your ass all the way over to fucking Sacramento, then drive to Reno. Or, heaven forbid, you get a flight out to Reno that isn't fucking expensive on Southwest. Right? So, I mean, it doesn't make sense that some people drive up to these furry conventions. Like, I have a friend who drove from Savannah to Pittsburgh. I don't know why. Just to go to AC when you could have driven your ass to Atlanta, hop on a Delta flight into Pittsburgh. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I know of some really crazy friends, but my point is this: it's quite a long distance just to go for a furry convention. And for a lot of people, it's not much of a deal breaker, but for some people, it is. So having a convention in such a large city like Houston, I think would actually be a good recipe for success. I just feel like they need to get their name out there. And, we are helping. We are, of course, helping.
Yes, we are. And I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help any way I can.
Yeah. So we're going to be tweeting about this convention a little bit more, just to get their name out. Just putting our just putting our money where our mouth is, and helping them get their name out there, because they're gonna need as much help as they can. And so I just want to bring it back to this. If you want to help out, of course they are looking for volunteers. If you're in the Houston area, they are looking for volunteers. And it is August 14th to the 15th, 2021. And if you want to help out, they have a Telegram chat that you can click on their website. Statosfur.org is the website.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to join the staff, they also are taking applications. Let's see if it works. Holy crap, it actually works! Unlike that other stupid convention over in Lancaster, that even if you wanted to help out with that bullshit, you couldn't. Pretty much had to suck Nitro's dick to help. Ugh. Yeah, I don't recommend that.
Probably like that too.
What?
That's the problem.
What?
I said he'd probably enjoy that too, which is a problem.
I'm pretty sure he would enjoy anybody sucking your dick.
Oh God, I'm gonna barf now.
Well, if you do it over there.
God.
I don't want to see that shit.
But speaking of conventions, I wanted to bring this up, and it is my open letter to con chairs for 2021.
Okay. All right.
We need to talk about some hard truths for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance that conventions might not happen next year, even in the face of a vaccine coming out. There's also a good chance that conventions do happen next year, a majority of them, even with a vaccine coming out. I say that to say all of this. If you're a con chair, you need to really do what's right and err on the side of caution. If for some reason you have to host, I strongly urge you to consider putting in place caps on attendance, social distancing measures, rules that prohibit excessive congregation of attendees in con spaces. Anything that you can to limit the potential spread of coronavirus if you're going to be forced to hold your convention. I get it. It's not an ideal thing, and no one wants to be put in that situation. But if we're going to have conventions next year, even at the tail end of a pandemic, it's still not safe. And I get it. Some of you may be forced to host them. I won't name names, but those that are need to seriously consider having caps on attendance. That means, yes, potentially having an FWA with only 350 people. As weird as that sounds, that may need to happen. As weird as it sounds, AC might have to introduce severe social distancing measures to ensure that the thousands of people that may show up don't lead to a super spreader event. It will have to happen if we aren't so lucky with this vaccine to where people are taking it in mass, or there aren't enough quantities, or for whatever reason. So I would like to see conventions happen next year. However, I understand that they might not happen.
So,
even if we have...
so Silox, I just want to add a counterpoint to what you're saying. I do agree with you that we may have to consider a smaller convention, or we have to consider smaller conventions for 2021, at least for the first half of 2021. But I'm an optimist. Okay. And I do see a lot of optimism on the horizon, especially with the vaccine development. I see a lot of optimism with that. But as I've said before, and as I'll say again, nobody has a crystal ball to see just how this will play out. And I think that what you're saying is correct, that maybe we do need to have smaller conventions, capped conventions, where we're capping at 50% capacity or maybe even 25% capacity, who knows. And then what I'm saying is, of course, also having a hybrid in-person and online streaming convention, so that for those who can't attend, they can attend in their home. Or for those who don't want to attend, they can attend all these panels at home. I really feel like we should be looking at these options rather than just considering canceling as our first option. Because canceling, of course, is a very expensive option. And once you cancel, you can't uncancel. So, it's best to, so it's not like you saying to err on the side of caution. I get that. But I also feel like for some conventions, that's not going to be a viable option, especially if they want to go on for 2022. That's probably not going to be a viable option for a lot of conventions. So that's why I'm telling conventions, we need to look into smaller conventions, hybrid conventions, where it's half in-person, half streaming. And also, follow the state guidelines in your area for coronavirus, whether it's 50% capacity, 25% capacity, wearing masks indoors, trying to have social distancing in place so that people aren't crowding in public areas. But I feel like in 2021, I think we could be looking at the conventions reopening. I think by summertime. So I think Anthrocon might be in a good place to reopen in 2021. And other conventions is kind of like 50-50. But think about Georgia and Florida, two states that have no coronavirus restrictions as of this moment. How are they handling it? Or how are furries handling coronavirus or events in these states, while the rest of the country is basically under restrictions? How are they handling events?
Well,
and I'm not saying to take them as an example, but what's going on over there?
Well, I would hope that they're not hosting events, because
I don't think they're hosting events either, because I think Megaplex this year was canceled, FWA was canceled, but I'm telling you, given the opportunity, FWA is going to look at opening for 2021 if they have the opportunity. They have no restrictions holding them back. They're going to say, fuck it, and go. And I'm saying, okay, but hold your horses for a minute. It might be best to rein it in a little bit and have a smaller convention with a capped audience. Maybe have streaming events. Maybe have virtual events in VR chat. But I don't believe that FWA, that's probably like one of the largest conventions in the furry community, that can't survive, that won't survive another year of cancellation. So I'm saying FWA is probably going to be looking at, if they have nothing holding them back, they're going to be looking at opening anyway. And what would you say to FWA?
I would personally say that that's a bad idea.
It's this. Either they host it for 1 year, they start hosting it for 2021 and go on, or they cancel for 2021 and they just don't come back. And that's where right now a lot of conventions are kind of in limbo. because they don't know if they can survive a second year of being canceled. Again, cancellation is a very, very strong position. It's a very, very strong decision to make. And once you cancel, you can't uncancel. You have to start paying out for all of those contracts that you are breaking just to make sure that, you know, everybody's safe. And that's going to get expensive. So I'm saying whatever you can do to minimize the risk is fine. But I'm saying don't be too hasty on canceling. If need be, host a smaller event with a smaller capacity, fewer attendees in person, and have it streamed for everybody else.
Okay. I mean, I don't, and I get that, and that's what a lot of the this year. But I think that many, given developments that have been happening in the past few days, many are going to be in this situation where they're going to have to decide one way or another.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that we also aren't looking at and we're not talking about are what are the states' governors doing in regards to lockdowns? Because this past year we saw lockdowns happen state by state. So one state could be locked down and another state adjacent to that state would not be. Or one state would be locked down for, let's say, 1 month. The adjacent state would be locked down for 2 months. Good example would be Maryland and Virginia. Maryland was the first state to be locked down in this general area. Then Virginia followed suit. Maryland's lockdown was 1 month, roughly. Virginia's was 2. I believe it was 2. Either 2 or 2.5. But it was one of the longest lockdowns in the country. And I don't think the government actually gave a good reason why they had such a long lockdown. But it was wild. But that's another thing to watch out for, and that's another thing that I think convention chairs need to talk about and they need to talk about this with their event organizers and the people running the venue. They need to start talking about what will the governor do if, let's say in January or February, the governor decides to lock down the state. Nobody can come in. Nobody can go out. Nobody can do anything except essential work. The hotels are shut down. If we have to go through that again, what are you going to do? I'm not hearing talk about this at all. That's the problem.
Because
I feel like if we're not talking about this, the whole conversation is just going in a circle.
Because governors aren't going to be locking down states. It's not. It's unless it gets to the point where it was back when it first started. They're not locking down states. Now it's slowly getting there in some places, but they're not going to be locking down states.
Well, then I feel like they need to go with whatever state guidelines are set in place, whether it's reduced capacity for meets, reduced capacity for gatherings, and just work with that. That to me is probably the best guideline for going forward on events. And if need be, have a smaller event. Have it streamed for everybody else. But I think canceling is, at this point, I think canceling an event. So I think canceling a FurryCon, I think that takes place in like probably May or June or July. I think it's overkill. I think you can, if you're hosting an event in those 3 months, I think you can host it at least in a limited capacity. MFF, you can go full steam ahead. I think MFF can go full steam ahead in December.
Oh yeah, no, there's without a doubt in my mind that there will be MFF this year. Like I do think that once we reach a point where a lot of people have had this vaccine and this disease is gone, which I think will be the case by probably the end of the summer, MFF is going to be happening. Like unless
Like
God
I said
this
that's what I said.
mutation
I
is something
think
way worse, MFF is happening.
Well, that's
So
why
it's
I said I think Anthrocon is going to be like the first of the large conventions that will be ready to go in full steam ahead by the summer. I think that's what's going to happen. But like I said, I think the conversations that are happening with these conventions, I think they need to start off by talking about what the governments of their respective states are saying and what they're about to do, and don't overanalyze things. Don't try to project too much into the future because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You're basically shooting yourself thinking that this is going to be the best option. No. I mean, this is why when it comes to this is why we have con chairs that we hope have the credentials and the leadership experience to make sound decisions. We're not running with a bunch of nitros running every convention and every FurryCon in America. You can make sound decisions. And I'm saying that while it was sound to make the call to cancel back in the beginning of this year, I don't think that that's a very sound decision now. I think that we can still move on cautiously with smaller events that work well with the guidelines set forth by state government.
Okay.
Anyway, so moving on, we only got about 8 minutes left. Silox, you wanted to. Actually, you know what? We don't have anything else on the docket. Silox, it's open mic.
So I just, and what I'm about to say is, and I fully stand by this, and I'm prepared to be honestly cast in a bad light by the fandom for this opinion. I'm at the point where I don't care anymore. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like Has Been Hotel. Don't like Has Been Hotel. I think Angel Dust is one of the most overrated characters ever.
It's very
oh my
witty.
god.
It's very
Ooh,
witty.
she's ooh. They said a cuss word. Oh my god, they're so provocative.
We say a cuss word too. Actually, Silox, our management has called. You're only allowed to say 5 cuss words in this podcast.
Well, fuck him. All right, fuck the manager. Okay, Has Been Hotel's overrated.
That's
Even worse
what
is
that,
Hell
3?
of a Boss.
That's 4.
Okay, Hell of a Boss is also overrated. All right, I don't get why people like Hell of a Boss so much. Never enjoyed it. Don't think it's funny. Don't think it's cute. But the worst thing about Hell of a Boss is the character Luna. I don't like Luna because it's just a bad character. She has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And I'm moving my hands like I'm Donald Trump right now. You can't see me, but I'm moving them. Okay? I don't like Luna. Alright? She's annoying. She has no character development at all in the first episode. And she just comes across as a mean, vindictive person. Alright? And furries are enamored by Luna. The amount of Luna porn is just mind-blowing. What is so attractive about Luna? There's nothing attractive about her.
Well, some furries, you'd be surprised. Some furries actually like the rough and tumble kind of character because they think that they can crack her and actually crack open somebody and find a nugget of gold in that person. They have a rough exterior, but they can crack them and find gold, like a walnut. You ever eat a walnut?
I don't eat nuts, so no. But
You eat nuts. You eat nuts. You just don't eat those types of nuts.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm straight and safe for work. Look, I don't like Luna. I think she's overrated. She's one of those characters that furries have latched onto that's purely overrated. All right, Fenko or whatever her name is from Agretsuko is another one, also overrated. No redeeming quality. She's a total Mary Sue. Don't like her. Okay.
What are you talking about? Hold on a minute.
I just don't like Luna. I just don't like her. Don't get why.
What's your beef against Feneko though?
She's overrated. She's a fucking Mary Sue. That's why. Oh, I'm supposed to feel sorry and think she's so special because she likes death metal. That's not interesting to me. Like, cool. It doesn't make you quirky or cool or interesting. I'm sorry.
I have a gif of Donald Trump just like moving his hands around while you were talking.
I was literally doing that with my hands. Moving like it's really weird. The point is, Luna, I just don't, I can't stand it. I can't stand her. I can't stand Hell of a Boss either. I really can't stand Hell of a Boss. And what gets me is the guy who voiced Invader Zim, and Billy is in there also, and it's like, God damn, you're ripping my heart out, Vizzy Pop. You're ripping my heart out. It's like, ugh. I wanted to like him. I wanted to like Hell of a Boss, and I wanted to like, what's the other one? I forgot. I'm old.
Yeah, you were very old.
What's the other show called?
What is it? What is
Not
it?
Good Times.
Good Times. What?
Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel. I wanted to like them. All right, a former
you
member
wanted
of this
to like them.
Yes, a former member of this podcast who shall not be named. Really enjoyed both of those shows and was mad at me because I said I thought they were both overrated. And I stand by that today. They're both overrated. Luna, good God. Why do furries simp for her? Why do you simp for Luna? There's nothing attractive.
I could name some.
Take that off the screen right now.
What?
No, you can take it off the screen right now. I don't care. You can't be on very quick because I don't like it.
You don't like Agretsuko?
No, I've never. No.
What?
I can't
What's
get
not
that
to
show.
like? What's not to like?
It's a boring show full of boring characters. It does not interest me. People have told me I should watch BoJack Horseman.
Yes, you
but
should.
BoJack Horseman does not interest me. It's a boring, overrated show, and furries like it because their character is depressed, and furries want to be depressed too for brownie points or whatever.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You need to come. No. You need to borrow Greg's account and watch BoJack. Okay, then you need to watch it. You need to watch it. No, better yet, you need to watch it with friends because then you can understand.
Hi, I'm BoJack. I'm a fading star. I'm an alcoholic. Look at me. I'm so hilarious. Why do people find that entertaining?
It's relatable. It's relatable.
To who?
To a bunch of people. You just don't understand.
There's no okay. Yes, I can relate my issues to a talking horse with a drug problem. No, I can't. I cannot. No, like I'm sorry.
I've got the Trump gift back up again.
You take that off too. I don't want to see that bitch. He lost his job the other day. I don't want to.
Shut up.
No.
But anyway, it's not. You're reading too much into the surface of these shows. Yeah, you are. I mean, perfect. Okay, so
Has Been Angel Dust overrated. Do not like Angel Dust. As I said before, Angel Dust suffers from this weird obsession with characters who loudly yell cuss words. You know who used to do that for comedy? Dane Cook. Dane Cook is one of the worst comedians out there. Do you know why? No. Because all he did was tell a weird story and yell fuck, shit, piss, damn, and make fart noises for an hour,
Actually-
and that passed as comedy for him because people felt sorry for his lackluster talent. Okay, that's what Angel Dust reminds me of. Angel Dust is the Dane Cook of cartoon characters. All right,
No,
overrated.
Psylocke, no.
Not me. Don't like her.
I think
Him,
you read
it,
too
they.
far into this. You're not. No. If you just don't get it, you just don't get it.
I
You
do
know
get
what?
it.
You know what you need to watch? You need to watch Bad Luck Jack. That's a cute. That's a cute short. I watched it. I thought it was adorable, and there were some characters that I found really endearing. Just watch that, and then tell me if you don't like it. But anyway, with that said, it's time to end.
Send your hate mail to me, please.
Yeah, please send your hate mail to @Psylocke95 on Twitter, and just tell him that he's wrong on BoJack Horseman, and he's wrong about Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss and Bad Luck Jack and Agretsuko and all of these other shows on Netflix that you love.
Furries have the worst taste.
Nah, shut up already.
They do. You all simp a fucking hyena or whatever hyena is.
Okay. Next week we're talking about all the furries that Psylocke simps for, based on feet size. This has been Furry Frequencies, and thank you so much for joining us on another exciting episode. If you like what you hear, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos and hit that bell for notifications. And if you're not following us yet on Twitter, please feel free to do so. Again, it's the stream is at Furry Frequency, and it looks like this. We're showing you to you now. And if you're not joining us on Discord, you of course can't call in. So if you want to call in, please feel free to just scroll a little bit down, click that link to our Discord, and join our Discord today. Anyway, thank you again for joining us for another exciting episode of Furry Frequencies. And this has been Furry Frequencies, signing off with Lifty.
And Psylocke.
Thank you again for joining us and for hearing us rant, and we hope you have a great night.
Has Been Hotel's overrated. Watch something better.
Shut up already. Goddamn.
You know it's true. Deep in your heart.